In this video, I am going to be talking about the GenomeMeink DNA site. I did a video on them last year, and now I'm going to do another video on them because they updated some things when it comes to the ancient DNA bloodline. And I want to talk about that more so the indigenous American side of things. So when it comes to GenomeMeink and their DNA site, they are the only ones that I know that are gathering information from archaeologists that have been digging up ancient bones from around the world, and they're putting it on their website, and they are comparing your chromosomes and all that jazz to what they're finding in these ancient bones. And it's long story short, I'm trying to make it really sweet and simple. I don't know too much about this. I need to make some friends that know more about this than me when it comes to like Neolithic, uh, Mesolithic, the Copper Age, the early Bronze Age. There's so much stuff that they have on this site. But like I said, they're comparing your DNA to these ancient people that they're finding. And for instance, they keep updating it. So the more ancient people that they gather, the more your ancient bloodline is going to update. Last time I did a video on this, they had a Egyptian mummy man that is on their site. And mine wasn't updated just yet, but since then it has been updated. And it shows right here that I am 0.18% a DNA match to this Egyptian mummy man. And I find it so interesting because years ago, my dad had went to the doctors for a blood checkup. And his doctor was surprised that he had Egyptian in his blood. And my dad didn't know either. So his doctor basically told him that he's immune to some bug that a lot of Egyptians are immune to. And for a while I was confused because I was like, where did the Egyptian come in? But turns out, back in the day, a lot of Moors were coming out here, and the tribe that I'm a part of in North Carolina, some of them have Middle East in their DNA as well. Not saying that Egypt is in the Middle East. I know it's in Africa, but this is what they're showing. The next that I found pretty cool that they recently updated was a medieval age Caribbean man. So I am 0.9% a DNA match. And according to them, I'm genetically closer to this sample than 17% of other GenomeMeink users. So as you can see here, they show some information, and I'm not going to read all of it, but it says somewhere here that his DNA was extracted from his tooth sample, and they determined that his DNA is D1, Y chromosome haplogroup was Q1B1A1A. See, it's a lot. I don't even know what the heck all this means, but it is fascinating, and I do need to look up more of this. And it says that his maternal haplogroup, the D1, is a basal haplogroup that is in Mexico, Central America, and South America, if that's what I am reading. There's something about Cuba. The Guadalupe individuals clustered together with Cuban age individuals. See, it's a lot going on. But that's also fascinating to me because I do have a Cuban ancestor and a ancestor from Mexico, so that's pretty interesting. But what I want to get to the most in this video is when it comes to the American indigenous people and their DNA. There's a lot going on in this community, and I wanted to talk about a few things when it comes to that. I know how some people in the Aboriginal community feel about Siberian, but hear me out with this. So, according to GenomeMeink DNA site. They apparently, whatever is in me, chromosome, whatever, they connected that to a few Siberian ancient people. One is a cinnamon from Siberia. Another is remains of, I can't even pronounce this. I do not want to sound slow in here, but I'm gonna show it on the screen. Um, there's a few others, and there's another one, a Alaskan Sunrise Girl. This one I'll click on because it would be a lot to read if I clicked on all of them. Okay, so when it comes to this Alaskan Sunrise Girl, I am genetically closer to this sample, 40% more than the other GenomeMeink users. Okay, I'm seeing something about the North Native Americans received genes from a Siberian population. Also something about Australians in here. Her and this other little girl that they found, they extracted their DNA from their skull bone, and her mitochondrial haplogroup is C1b, which could be found only in a low frequency of today's North Native Americans. So when it comes to the Native American community, there is a lot going on because you have some people who feel like the Siberians are the true Native Americans, and then you have others that don't feel that way. And to me, I'm open minded to everything. There was a lot going on throughout history, and I feel like it was just a blend of so many things. Like the migration story of the Siberians coming over through Alaska, like the Alaskan girl that I just showed, and there's stories of people coming from South America and more melanated people. So to me, it's like a whole blend of things. What I don't like is how, for instance, the Native Americans that do look more Siberian, I don't like the fact how they feel that blacks aren't Native American. Not all of them feel that way, but there are some who do. And in order to be Native American, you gotta look a certain way, which is not true. And then on the flip side, I don't like how the Aboriginal folks, they feel like Siberians aren't the true Native Americans. But like I said, there was so much going on. Like even besides the Siberians and people from South America, there were also Moors coming in, the Egyptians, like what I was just saying, and Vikings. There's even stories of Vikings coming to what is now America. So it brings to question like what makes a indigenous American a true indigenous American, unless there are some stories that I hear about the Aboriginal peoples that is in America has always been here. I mean, at one point, all these continents they say were one big landmass and then eventually broke off. So what if everybody was already in these areas by the time everything just like broke off? It's so much, but it does bring like a bigger question, like what is a exact indigenous American? Also, if you think about it, we all don't look exactly like how our ancient relatives looked way back in the day. What we look like now is totally different, in my opinion, because over time we tend to evolve, and our features, it's permanence there, but we don't look exactly like how they used to look like. And for the Aboriginals that say that Siberians aren't like the real natives, in y'all arguments, y'all say that melanated people were all around the world, everywhere. So if that's the case, wouldn't Siberians be melanated people too at one point, and then eventually, you know, the skin lightens and everything. It's just, I don't know, it's a lot. And for an example, there is a ancient shaman German woman that they show on the DNA site, and I believe when I was reading about her, because I'm connected to, I guess, that group of people, and this woman that they dug up, they were able to extract DNA and able to tell that at one point when she was alive, she was blue-eyed and dark-skinned. And I don't know any Germans today that have dark skin. So to that point of, at one point, it was just all melanated people throughout the world. Wouldn't you think that Siberians also were more melanin? Just saying. I don't know. There's a lot to learn when it comes to this, and I'm definitely gonna do a lot more research and look up definitions of these big words that I am finding, and haplogroups and D1CB mitochondrial, like all this, all these words. I'm just like, okay. So by the time I finish researching, ooh, I'm gonna be a bad bitch, like when it comes to learning all this stuff. So I'm definitely going to do another updated video on this, and I am going to be more prepared. So yeah.